Diabetic emergency preparations. As a diabetic for more than 30 years, I've rarely thought about this scenario, but what if the worst case World War III scenario happens and you have to survive without additional food, water, or medications? No more electricity, no more pharmaceuticals. And that means that if you are an insulin dependent diabetic, you might be in trouble. How many of you out there suffer from a normalcy bias? And what I mean by that is, well, since I've lived the past 40 years, then I can just go down to my pharmacy anytime I want, get all my supplies. I just run down and they have everything I want in stock. Well, maybe, and well, maybe not. So let's just tackle at this first video the basic supply issue today and go into further details if you guys want to follow up in a future video. Think about building up a supply of insulin. There are two ways that I can think of to do this. One way is simply with some extra cash. Ask your doctor to prescribe extra insulin. Explain why you feel you need it, and for the next few months, pay for it out of pocket. Now, another idea is to go to your local Walmart, and everybody's got one in their little town, and you can buy insulin without a prescription from the pharmacy. Now, it's not probably the same insulin that you're being prescribed. You're being prescribed a name brand insulin. It's a little bit, got some great advantages to it. It's a little bit more rapid acting versus the stuff at Walmart is generally a generic type older formula of insulin. Now, it still works great, but it's not quite as fast acting and it's not quite as long lasting as the stuff you may be prescribed. But it still works. I have tried it on my body. Yes, it doesn't last as long on the long-term stuff. And no, if the rapid, which I don't use anymore, is not nearly as fast acting as the modern prescriptions are, but it's much cheaper. And right now, that might be something to keep in mind. Now, the Walmart insulin is a great insulin. Again, I've tried it. It seems to work fine in my body, knowing that it won't last quite as long and knowing that it's not quite as fast acting. But with your doctor's guidance, test your blood sugars regularly and often and see if the Walmart brand works in your body. Now, it might not be optimal, but it may still work, and at a fraction of the cost. Typically, a vial of Walmart insulin is typically about $25 the last time I checked, and you don't need a prescription to get this in most areas. And don't also forget to buy extra syringes and alcohol to potentially sterilize things as well. So if you have several extra bottles of insulin, now I happen to keep about 16 additional vials, constantly rotating old stock with new stock coming in. And I keep that for myself for an emergency in the refrigerator, and potentially in a horrible situation where I couldn't get any more, I could use it in an emergency and I could potentially donate it to others. And you would keep it in a cool, dry place with a low carbohydrate food intake, like a keto type eating. You might keep you from serious diabetic complications in a real World War III grid down situation. But again, talk to your doctor. Ask your doctor what they may think and recommend in this kind of a situation. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like me to go into future videos in more detail about that kind of a situation. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day and take care.